after Blake Snell's early return. Good morning to you. Now he is set up in the rotation. Is that where he will land? What and where is his future? Because there's been speculation.
There has been, Lauren, and good morning. We saw in October how great Roki can be out of the bullpen, but for now, he is a starter. I suspect that's where he'll stay for the foreseeable future. His last time out, a quality start against the Cardinals, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. He's had that remade splitter this season. It's actually been really effective for Roki Sasaki. So even though there have been some ups and downs with his performance, an ERA close to 6, I believe he stays in the rotation even with Blake Snell now coming in. Of course, Glass now is on the IL. The Dodgers have shown before they're willing to go with a 6-man rotation when needed. By the way, how great has Robleski been this season? Phenomenal, an emerging talent. They could still get Knack and Stone back at some point later on this year. And again, this is a team that will give additional days of rest when warranted. But I still think Sasaki holds down a spot in the rotation, at least in the near term. Now, postseason time, we always know this. The Dodger rotation and pitching plan often looks very different in October than it does in, let's say, the middle of May. And maybe at that point in time, he's there closing games out again, or at least pitching later on in ball games. Again, that especially when he's got that fastball splitter combo going, he is devastating as a reliever. The slider has been there this season, too. Just a little inconsistent. But again, I go back to the results last time out against the Cardinals. A very, very good sign. He is a starting pitcher for me right now. You know who's also in the Dodger active roster? Mookie Betts is expected to be activated today ahead of this major series there against the Giants. So some great news there for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts back in the lineup.
Okay, meanwhile, the team they're playing tonight sent Patrick Bailey to Cleveland. And we heard the news, kind of scratching our head. And then we heard Chris Antonetti say, I've been looking at him for a while. What are both sides saying about this, JP?
It's a very interesting trade. Let's look at Cleveland's side of things first. We know they really value run prevention. Here, of course, was the trade. Bailey going to Cleveland. Wilkinson, whose nickname is the Tugboat. He was an emerging talent for Team Canada at the WBC. And then a very high draft pick at this year's draft. So the Giants getting a compensatory pick there as well. And then Bo Naylor, of course, optioned down to AAA. So I think from the Giants' perspective, it makes a ton of sense. You get a legit lefty and then a draft pick. But this is where the choice becomes interesting, is that the Guardians already had in place Austin Hedges, who is known as an excellent defensive catcher. And actually this year, Hedges having one of his better offensive seasons in recent memory. But Bailey is the elite of the elite when it comes to framing, which, by the way, still matters in the game, even in the ABS era. There you see it since 2023. Fielding run value, framing, catcher, everything, caught stealing above average, everything that he does, he is phenomenal, first-rate defensively. So this gives the Guardians arguably, maybe even not arguably, the best defensive catching tandem in the game. We could say it objectively. Naylor gets optioned down. The initial plan for Bo is that he's going to go to Arizona, work with some player development staff there to try to get the swing back in play. We know that Bo has the potential, and the Guardians have said this, to be an everyday catcher. Stephen Vogt just talked about how much it ached him to give Naylor the news that he was going down to the minor leagues. So the Guardians, they still love the player and the person. It's just right now, Bailey gives them a bit more, and now they're in first place in the American League.
Stephen Vogt, sorry, he said it was the hardest decision. It was the hardest conversation. And then the trade deadline fast approaching. So I guess there's always a name, right? You and I always talk about a name, and it's Mickey Moniak this time around that is on a lot of teams' radar. What are they looking for? What do they like about his game?
Mickey Moniak is a big-time bat, and he's finally showing it with the Rockies. I love his story. So much perseverance, Lauren, has been required of Moniak, the #1 overall pick to the Philadelphia Phillies 10 years ago. Never quite happened for him in Philly, but look at that lefty swing now. And of course, yes, Coors Field, a great place to hit. But the important thing is you've got an elite hitter who now has his confidence going. And even if you look at the OPS plus, which adjusts for the league and park factors, he is one of the best bats anywhere in the National League so far this season. Look at those numbers. And again, you go back to last June and where he ranks. Look, I've heard of Judge, I've heard of Langoliers, and yeah, I've heard of Moniak in terms of the best with those different numbers there, slugging percentage. So you love the way that the offense plays with DePodesta and Burns coming in, the new baseball administration there with the Rockies, they're not quite ready, we could even say charitably, to chase down the Dodgers and the Padres in the National League West. So if you're not ready to win now, you really have two choices. You either try to sign Moniak long-term because you believe in the bat and who he is and what he's become, or you look around and say, okay, all these teams, especially in the American League, Lauren, all these teams under 500 who need a boost offensively, Mickey Moniak is the name that you and I will discuss often on the Inside Corner between now and late July.
I can't wait. Did you happen to know Pat Murphy opened up a bakery, yes or no? When you go to a bakery, what's your go-to order, JP Morosi? To me.
So I would say cornetto. You have to, like, it's the Italian bakery, un cornetto, un cappuccino, or un...
Just say crumb cake.
Cornetto.
Just say. It is the first Brewers sweep of the Yankees by 3 games or more by Milwaukee since August of 1989. Whoa! Check out Milwaukee's last 12 games, and they had back-to-back walk-off Saturday and Sunday. And did you
game changer?
And did you hear what Aaron Judge said about Bryce Strang? He said he's one of my favorite players to watch, and he says I always wanted him on Team USA up in a big spot. I felt like he could live up to the moment.
Yeah, coming off the WBC, I think if anybody put their name to the forefront of, like, if you didn't know, you better get to know.
Sure.
It was him, without question. All right, so. You guys bakery people?
Well, yeah, I've got a bag.
I grew up like Mills Bakery in Woodridge, New Jersey. I used to slaughter crumb cake that had, like, you know, the cubes like.
You just had a donut 2 seconds ago from Paladine's.
What's your go-to at a
Oh my God, black and white cookie or a vanilla cupcake?
Yeah, anything with frosting, I'm in on.
You into pies?
No,
Yeah.
not really.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know pies.
Banana cream pie.
Yeah, into that.
Okay, so it was about 4 or 5 days ago. Pat Murphy was doing this interview. Dev, do we have the quote built? Take a look at this. May 6th win versus the Cardinals. If 2/3 of the inning is over, it means 1/3 of the inning is left. A lot can be done. 1/3 is a big piece of pie. You know what I mean? Like, I love banana cream pie with vanilla wafers or banana pudding in a pie-shaped form, if you know anyone that makes them. Anyway, I love that. And if I eat 2/3 of it, that's a big portion, but there's a lot left over for tomorrow. I don't know what he's referencing. He's actually talking about 2 outs in an inning, you still have time. But it
writes itself.
He's the king of giving us mock-up ideas.
Key lime pie is pretty good.
I'm not into it. I'm chocolate through and through.
A chocolate pie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little mousse. All right, let's get into it, because I think he opened up after. Who doesn't love a good bake?
One of our ovens pulled a groin.
No cakes in there?
No,
I didn't put any cakes in there.
Love cakes.
We all love cakes.
Yeah. All right, the Brewers are off today before they begin a series at home against the San Diego Padres. Let's go to Kansas City. This is home run. This is the first time in the regular season that he has homered on a pitch in excess of 98 miles an hour since 2018. He did it in 2023, same kind of pitch. That one was in the postseason off Spencer Strider,
who was fantastic on Saturday. We're going to get into him.
So this is what it looks like right now in the National League West.
When the Dodgers and the Giants play 4, starting tonight, all of those games on MLB Network. Thursday's our showcase game.
Tip of the hat to the Padres, finding ways to get it done. Knick-knack, paddywhack, Castellanos goes bridge.
And don't sleep on the Diamondbacks. Just a game below 500? Who knows? Hey, speaking of the Dodgers, leading off, Roki